Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today, we're going to be going over what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. And if you haven't heard yet, luckily we actually have a pretty good week on our hands for the first time in a very long time, almost as long as I can remember. Before we get into the video, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. And with that being said, we have some featured Halloween content that's been added back into Grand Theft Auto Online this week. Namely, Cayo Perico Survival is back and on double money and double RP. We also have the Beast vs. Slasher adversary mode back in the game again on double money and double RP as well. We also have the Possessed Animals as a random event back in GTA Online. The Jack-o'-lantern collectibles are also out as well. We have Halloween masks, face paints, everything like that, all the collectible stuff added back, as well as the LCC Sanctus and the Albany Franken Stange, which is really cool. So those things are all added back into the game this week. The weekly challenge this week for $200,000 is to survive 2 waves of a survival without dying. For doing this, you're going to get a special vintage zombie mask and, like I said, $200,000. Now, like I said, we have double money on Beast vs. Slasher, double money on Cayo Perico Survival, but we also have double money and double RP on Bunker Sale Missions, which is the #1 absolute highlight bonus of this week. So the bunker's going to be selling for $2.1 million this week, and that's without a high demand bonus. So very, very good. Make sure you guys are selling your bunkers this week if you haven't already. It is going to be the #1 way to make money this week in online, which is super sick. I'm very glad we actually have a business bonus back in the game for once. It's been way too long. We also have some special community made jobs on double money and double RP, namely the Cemetery RNG Deathmatch, the TDM Mill Massacre, and the Pirates of Los Santos. Those are all double money and double RP for the remainder of this week. Getting started with the property discount of the week, which is going to be on the bunker. It's been a long time since I've said that, but bunkers are 30% off this week, including upgrades and modifications. So they're going to be quite a bit cheaper, and everything inside them is also going to be cheaper. Now, if you're going to be buying a bunker this week, there's one bunker to buy, and you shouldn't buy any other bunker unless you're on a budget. Now, if you have the money, the farmhouse bunker is the best bunker in the entire game. Chumash people are going to try to argue and say that it's better, but I promise you, as somebody who's owned both, the farmhouse bunker is superior in nearly every way. There's like maybe one sale mission where Chumash has the advantage, but every other sale mission farmhouse is better. So try to get the farmhouse bunker. Now, as far as anything inside the bunker, bunker style doesn't matter. It's purely cosmetic, so you can save some money by not doing anything there. The personal quarters I would get so that you can go to your bunker easily by changing spawn locations. That will allow you to spawn there and set it as your spawn location. The shooting range can get you some special stuff like an extended ammo capacity for like grenades and stuff like that, as well as some challenges, which can make you a little bit of money, but you don't overly need it. I would say if you can afford it, really comfortably, you might want to buy it. The gun locker, you can get this in another business for probably actually more expensive. So if you can get the gun locker in here and you don't have it in another business, it might be worth it. But if you already have the gun locker in some other business, no point in getting it here. Transportation is useless. These are so slow, they suck. Don't buy them. They're absolutely useless. So just buy the farmhouse bunker basically with a personal quarters and an optional shooting range and gun locker depending on if you want them or not. Now, like I said, if you don't have enough for the farmhouse bunker, buy the Chumash bunker because you might as well get it 30% off. It's just a little bit worse than the farmhouse bunker. It's not bad, but it's just a little bit worse. Worse significantly enough to the point where I would advise you to really save up and just get the farmhouse. It is truly the superior one of the two. Now, when you actually purchase your bunker, there's also upgrades inside that you're going to have to do. The equipment upgrade, staff upgrade, and security upgrade. I recommend doing all 3, but the security upgrade isn't going to matter a whole lot. So you can avoid purchasing that and you'll probably be fine. So I'd say avoid the security upgrade, but definitely the equipment and staff upgrade within the bunker, which are also going to be discounted this week, I do believe, for 30% off. You need to have those as well. So make sure to buy those. Now, we also have 30% off of any Arena War outfit in the game. So if you want those, I guess buy them. I don't know who's wanting them, but if you want them, go get them, I guess. Starting off with the vehicle discounts, we have a few on Elitist Travel here, as you guys can see. Starting off, we have the Buckingham Milljet for $1,190,000. This is a Pegasus vehicle. It can be brought into your hangar to change the overall look of it. You can respray it. Other than that, nothing you can do to it. It is, I believe, one of the higher carrying capacity vehicles in the game. I think it can hold 16 players, so not more than the Titan that you can get for free from the airport. It's also not that much faster than the Titan either, so I'd say overall you could probably avoid the Milljet. You really don't need it unless you specifically want it, but overall I'd recommend not buying it this week for pretty much everybody. The Seabreeze is an absolutely fantastic plane. It's great at dogfighting. It's great for going to missions that are out in the ocean or anything like that. For $595,000, it's not bad. It's weaponizable. It's pretty fast. Overall, I'd say if you have a hangar, this is one you should probably be buying this week. The Seabreeze is just a really good plane, and you kind of can't go wrong with owning one. So I would recommend the Seabreeze. However, on the other hand, we have the Duster 300H, which I don't recommend buying. It's really bad. So please don't buy one because it will disappoint you. It's got machine guns, non-explosive. They're not that good. It's not that fast. It's not that maneuverable. It doesn't look that good. Livery options are not that awesome either. You can pretty safely avoid the Duster 300H. It's actually trash. So please don't buy one. Over on Legendary Motorsport, we have the Dubachi Wagner as our first discounted vehicle of the week on this website. It's going for just under $1.1 million, and I feel like for a non-HSW supercar, that is pretty fairly priced for what you're getting. This thing has a pretty average top speed of 126 miles per hour. It's kind of on the upper end of average for sure, but it's definitely not considered a high top speed. However, it does have very high downforce and really good handling, as well as some decent customization. Not a whole lot, but a little bit that you can do to it for sure. I would recommend the Wagner. If you don't have HSW available on your platform, I do recommend the Wagner. It is still one of the top supercars if you don't have HSW available on your platform. So for those non-HSW players, this thing is going to be a good purchase. It's going to be a decent supercar to race with. It's fun in free mode. It sounds good. It looks good. Overall, it's a good car. Now, if you have HSW on your platform like I do, I still love the Wagner. But in a supercar category race, even with non-HSW, like disabled HSW, this thing is not going to fare that awesome because at the end of the day, we still do have the weaponized Ignis on this platform with non-HSW, the Devastate, stuff like that. It's not going to be the fastest car in the game no matter what platform you're on, but if you do have HSW, I really don't recommend it. However, if your console does not have HSW or you play on Legacy PC, you can pretty safely buy the Wagner, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. It truly is a pretty good car. Scrolling a little bit further down, we have the Pegassi Osiris for $1,365,000. This is a car that I absolutely love, but it's not exactly the best car ever. It's worse than the Wagner. It costs more than the Wagner. The customization is probably worse than the Wagner, very slightly, although neither of them have that many options. But the Osiris is all-wheel drive, and it is the only Pagani Huayra-based vehicle we have in GTA Online. So for that reason, it is kind of cool. I own one of these still to this day. I do love this car, but I can't say that it's honestly that good for the money, especially performance-wise, but also customization-wise, and just as a general driving experience. It's good, but I don't know if it's that good. You know what I mean? If you want an Osiris to begin with, certainly buy one now while it's on discount. It's not going to go cheaper than this, I don't think. But if you don't care about the Osiris in particular, if you haven't been looking to get one, you can probably pretty safely avoid it this week. I don't think it's going to be that awesome, and you're not really missing out on much. It's very similar to a lot of other all-wheel drive supercars in GTA. It's just slower than most of them now because it's been out for so long. So for most people, I would say avoid the Osiris. Now under the four-door section on Legendary, we have the Ocelot Jugular discounted this week. It does have a missile lock-on jammer available for it now, which is a new feature since the last time I think I talked about it, so that's pretty cool. It's also all-wheel drive. It has one of the best engine sounds in the entire game. Customization wise, there's quite a bit that can be done to it. Not a whole lot, but quite a bit. More than the Wagner, more than the Osiris for sure. Probably more than both combined, to be honest. But still not like a whole lot of options. Very cool car though. And I do believe still to this day, as far as a non-HSW car goes, I think this is one of the faster four-doors in the game. I think the only thing that's probably beaten this thing out is probably the new Ubermacht Sentinel GTS. I think that's pretty much the only thing that would actually beat this thing around track. That's 4-door, at least. So, pretty cool car though. For $643,000, it's a must cop in my opinion. You absolutely need to buy it. And even if you don't have the trade price, still for $860,000, I just don't see a world in which this car is not worth that amount of money. So I would purchase it no matter what, if you have the trade price or the buy it now price. Either or is good. You should just own an Ocelot Jugular if you don't have one already. And the fact that it's got the missile lock-on jammer now too is just awesome. So highly recommend this one. Again, as with the last couple of weeks, the Titan 250D is on discount, 25% off yet again. I'm going to say the same thing as I've said in the previous couple of weeks. If you're a solo player, I wouldn't recommend buying it. It doesn't have enough utility to the point where it's actually going to be useful for you. As a matter of fact, you can fire the gun as a solo player, but you can only fire the 40mm. And this thing has a 105, a 40, and a 25mm cannon. So being able to only fire the 40 is kind of really lame in my opinion, at least. If you have friends, you're probably not going to use it as much as you think you are, so I would be very, very cautious before purchasing it, especially if you don't have the trade price. If you have the trade price, it's a lot more worth it, but I would really only recommend buying this thing if you have friends that you actively like PvP with. If you don't PvP with your friends, you're probably not going to get enough use out of this thing to justify purchasing it, so for most players, I would say to avoid the Titan 250D. Now moving over to Southern San Andreas Super Autos, starting off with the Vapid Dominator GTT for $640,000. This thing is one of the better muscle cars in the game for circuit racing, and it's also an okay Tuners DLC vehicle for the Tuners subcategory of races as well. It's pretty highly customizable. For $640,000, I think a Mustang like this, that's, you know, this good performance-wise and everything like this, I feel like it's worth it. So I would recommend the Dominator GTT. I do think this car is worth $640,000. Now, if you don't have the trade price, and if this is looking like more like $900K, I'd say it's a lot less worth it. So if you have the trade price, I'd say purchase it. But if you don't, you can probably pretty safely avoid purchasing the Dominator GTT. Again, unless you had your eye on this thing and you've wanted it for some time already, then absolutely buy it while it's on discount. But for most players, I'd say only purchase it if it's $640,000. Now we also have the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire down here for $521,000. I think for that price, you absolutely should purchase it. Fun fact, it's also got the missile lock-on jammer available for it now, as well as drift tuning within the LS car meet. So it's very, very worth $521,000. I would absolutely purchase it. We also have the Chariot Romero Hearse for $31,500, down from $45,000. It's so cheap that like there's no reason to not buy it. So just, yeah, buy it. There's no need to not buy it. Just do it. We also have the DeClassy Tornado Rat Rod for $264,600. I'd say unless you're looking for it, you can avoid it. It's not that good of a car, not that much in the way of customization or anything either. So I'd say unless you really want this thing, there's no point in even looking at it. It's not that good of a vehicle. Don't buy it. We have the Albany Lurcher added back to the game this week, which is a Halloween exclusive vehicle for $455,000. It has 2 livery options as well as no livery that you can put on it as well. It does have a little bit of customization, and it's got the dead zombie in the back of the coffin in the back of the vehicle. It is pretty cool. It's not the greatest vehicle of all time, but the only reason you're probably going to be buying this thing is to have it as a Halloween collectible, in which case, if you want it for that reason, absolutely buy it. If not, though, you can really safely avoid it. Now, under the 4-door section, we have the Albany Frankenstein, discounted from $550,000 to $385,000. This thing has 4 livery options: the Spider Trap, Midnight Potion, Hell's Furnace, and the Blazing Death liveries. I think you can also do no livery, but other than that, there's no customization available for this vehicle, like whatsoever, pretty much. But it does have one of the best sounding engines in the game. So if that matters to you, I would say you might want to purchase it. Again, same with the Lurcher. If you want the special limited edition Halloween vehicles, this is one you should probably be buying. But if you don't care, you can really safely avoid this as well. We also have the Karen Everon discounted this week. One of the best trucks for like rock crawling and free mode off-roading in the entire game for sure. As far as off-road racing goes, it's pretty terrible, but if you want a really good rock crawler off-roader for free mode, this thing is awesome. If you have it for the trade price in particular, I would say it's worth it if you want to go off-roading, but it is kind of overpriced no matter how you slice it. So if you want an off-road truck, this is a great one to have. But honestly, you can pretty safely avoid purchasing it too, because it's like awesome for off-roading, but it's pretty much not good at anything else. So I mean, if you want it for off-roading, buy it, but if not, just avoid it. And last but not least, we have the LCC Sanctus for $1,396,500, which is a lot of money for a motorcycle. And for this amount of money, I kind of don't recommend it because it's so much money. But again, if you want it for the Halloween collectibleness of it, buy it for sure while it's on discount. There's no point in not buying it on discount if you want it, you know. But if you don't want it, just really safely avoid purchasing this one for sure. Within the casino, we have the Dubachi JB700 weaponized, the actual weaponized variant of the Dubachi JB700. This thing's awesome. You should absolutely be trying to win it every single day. Within the LS car meet, we have the BF Weevil available to be won this week, and in order to win it, you're gonna have to place first for 3 days in a row, which is kind of a crazy challenge to win the Weevil, not gonna lie. So I would say you don't need to do that this week. I mean, it's really not that awesome. You can also get a free Weevil by completing the English Dave missions, I believe it is. So I would just avoid the Weevil in the car meet. There's no point. However, in the car meet, we do have a couple of great removed vehicles like the Vapid FMJ, which goes for $1,750,000. Honestly, pretty overpriced, but it is removed. So if you want it, now's a good time to get it for sure. But I would probably wait for it to go on discount. We also have the Dubachi Exemplar for $205,000 here, and the Dubachi Massacro for $275,000. The Exemplar is a really cool four-door version of the Rapid GT. No customization at all though, so keep that in mind, but a great NPC looking vehicle for sure. And the Dubachi Massacro actually has quite a bit of customization. One of my favorite cars in the game as well. It's pretty awesome. I would recommend buying a Massacro this week if you want one. It is a pretty cool car. I think it's pretty sweet looking and everything, and the customization complements it well, I would say as well. So consider buying that. The Massacro and the Exemplar this week for sure, I'd say to get in here, but the FMJ, it's pretty hit or miss. It depends if you really want it or not. We got the Karen S95 as the HSW test ride this week in the LS car meet, and in order to purchase it, it's going to be $2,860,000, which is crazy, so I don't really recommend it. The priority file within the Garment Factory this week is the Project Breakaway file, so consider doing that if you're interested. Here are the vehicles available in the salvage yard this week. The LM87 is the top tier vehicle of the week, and you're going to get that by completing the Podium robbery. The Albany Roosevelt Velour is available by completing the Gangbanger robbery, and the Duggan robbery will get you the Albany Hermes. And of course, none of them are claimable, so go figure. Within Simeon's, we have the Canis Seminole Frontier to start us off. This is a removed vehicle. It's pretty great off-road. Obviously, it's a predecessor to the Canis Seminole. Goes for $700,000, which is kind of a lot in my opinion for the off-road performance you're going to get out of it. It does have a lot of customization though, so you might want to purchase it. We also have the Vapid Click available in here, going for $938,000, which I think is too much money considering it's no longer at the top of its game anymore. You got the Albany Frankenstein in here, like I said, $385,000, except $429 because the livery's on it. But you can also purchase the livery on the car through the websites, so I would just do that personally. We also have the Tornado Rat Rod in here, $264,000. Again, I'd say probably avoid that thing. And we have a gold Chariot Romero hearse. Kind of crazy, $31,500. So if you want that, it's available as well, but I would just get it off the website unless you want it in gold, but that's on you. All right guys, and Luxury Autos is awesome as usual. We got the Jester LS car meet wide body thing, sucks, and the Vapid Laws Speed as well. Awesome. All right guys, the gun van location today is at the Land Act Dam, or further up the reservoir right here, as you guys can see right beside the big pipes that run over the top of the mountain. Within the gun van, we have a free baseball bat for GTA Plus members. We also have a free stun gun for GTA Plus members, but the Widowmaker is 50% off for everybody, and the Shocker is also 30% off for everybody as well. So I'm going to go ahead and purchase that right now. That's pretty sick. We also have the Marksman Rifle Pump Shotgun Nightstick Unholy Hellbringer, and the Up and Atomizer is in the gun van as well. So if you don't have an Up and Atomizer, you should buy that. The Widowmaker is kind of worth it as well. The Unholy Hellbringer, you never have to reload, which is kind of cool too. So I recommend all three of those for sure. The Shocker, you might as well get it while it's on discount if you don't have it yet. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Throwables, we got proxies, pipes, and grenades, and of course body armor is 30% off, or 10% off, sorry, my apologies there. And of course, the time trials for the week. Your RC Bandito time trial is Cypress Flats. Your Junk Energy is Mirror Park. Your HSW time trial is Del Perro Beach to Murrieta Heights, so this is going to start right here, as you guys can see, and it's going to end down here in Lester's factory where you drop off some mission stuff sometimes. So right in here, over in El Barrio Heights. And your regular time trial is Stab City. So there you have it, guys. That has been it for what to buy and what to avoid this week in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're new. And with that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. So until then, take care. Peace.